Have you ever seen someone turn a simple tree cutting job into a disaster? Get ready to see inexperienced people with chainsaws knock down trees in the most dangerous ways. From near-death experiences to absolute destruction, these mind-blowing failures will leave you in shock. Number 25. First, you won't believe a guy tried cutting down a tree, but instead of the tree falling, the saw got stuck. So, he went for a second cut, but this time, he did it in the most ridiculous way possible. And guess what? The tree and the saw got stuck, leaving him trapped in the middle. Everyone around him just laughed, and then one of his friends, trying to be serious, asked, "Are you okay, man?" But he was too busy laughing to even answer. Number 24. What happens next in these outrageous tree felling attempts? Someone who thought they were an expert climbed onto a machine to cut a tree with a chainsaw. But while cutting, they got stuck and ended up hanging from the machine. It was a complete disaster and so funny to watch. They tried to act professionally, but made a big mess of things. Number 23. In addition, an idiot was trying to cut a tree with his friend, standing on a ladder while his friend held it. They tried cutting the tree most ridiculously, and it fell right on him. The idiot then tumbled off the ladder like a total disaster. What a failure. Number 22. However, some moves go wrong. Someone was climbing a tree, trying to cut a branch with a chainsaw, but their genius move made the whole tree start to fall. Their friends shouted at them to jump, but the tree came crashing down before they could. Thankfully, they survived, but what a scene. It was a total idiot moment. I almost got squashed by a falling tree. Number 21. You've never seen anything like this. A man was cutting down a palm tree with a chainsaw, standing on the wrong side. When the tree fell, the bottom of it hit him right on, sending him tumbling down. And to make it worse, the chainsaw flipped upside down with him. What a total disaster and failure. Number 20. What a disaster. Talk about mastering the art of tree falling. You've never seen a tree cutting fail like this before. A person stood with one leg on the tree, trying to cut it with a chainsaw. As soon as the tree started to fall, this genius fell right along with it. Number 19. Here's another tree falling disaster. Someone was trying to figure out how the tree would fall by cutting it with a chainsaw. But the tree had its own surprise. I'm falling this way. It went in the opposite direction, and the person ran in panic. What a total fail in tree falling skills. Number 18. Let's talk about another expert. This person faced an unexpected challenge in the beautiful white snow. After cutting down one tree, another one followed suit as soon as it fell. In a panic, they tried to dodge the falling trees and run, but tripped and fell themselves. Somehow they survived, but what a disaster of tree falling skills. Number 17. In other words, a lady was climbing a ladder to cut a tall tree. She used the chainsaw to cut the top part of the tree, and when the upper portion fell, it caused a shock wave that made the lower part of the tree fall too. And guess what? She ended up falling right along with it. What an idiot move. Number 16. As the trees fall, so do their plans. Two friends were at it, one standing on a ladder cutting the tree, while the other stood on the ground watching. As soon as the branch fell, the guy on the ladder slipped and fell off. The friend on the ground couldn't do anything but laugh at the chaos. What a hilarious tree cutting. Number 15. Confidence is key, but what happens when it turns into overconfidence? One man decided to cut down a huge tree with a chainsaw. Half of the tree fell to one side, and the other half went the opposite way. The man, terrified, took off running. What was supposed to be a simple task turned into a complete disaster. Number 14. Let's take a look at another idiot tree cutting skill. A couple tried to cut a tree using a chainsaw and an axe. Sure, the tree did fall, but guess where it landed? Right on their house. What a stupid disaster. Imagine cutting a tree and it ends up taking out your own home. Number 13. Here's another dangerous tree cutting fail. One person was standing on the tree, cutting it, while two others watched from a distance, checking where it would fall. As the tree was about to fall, the two on the ground told the guy to get down. Too late. The tree fell in the opposite direction, completely ruining the plan. What a disaster. Number 12. You won't want to miss this. One person was standing on a tall tree, trying to cut it with a chainsaw in the beautiful snowy weather. They only managed to cut the top part of the tree. Cutting trees isn't just about looking brave, it's about not being an idiot. What a fail. This was a huge tree cutting blunder. Number 11. There are even more idiots with dangerous and disastrous tree cutting skills. One person decided that using a chainsaw wasn't enough, so they added fire to the mix. Yes, fire. What a genius move. Somehow, this idiot managed to cut the tree down, but this could have ended in a much bigger disaster. Number 10. Equally important, this video is full of surprises. One person climbed a very tall tree using a ladder and decided to cut right from the middle. The moment the top part fell, the real disaster began. This genius ended up hanging from the lower part of the tree, even rolling over it like a spinning wheel. This is another perfect example of an idiot turning tree cutting into a disaster. Number 9. This has to be the biggest disaster yet. One person was sitting on the top of the tallest tree, casually trimming the leaves first. Then, with a chainsaw, they started cutting the tree into small pieces, while still sitting on it. Piece by piece, they worked their way down. No safety, no fear, just pure idiocy. Who even does that? Number 8. Moreover, a man climbed a ladder to cut a big tree branch, but didn't think where it would fall. The branch came down hard, hit the ladder, and sent him flying to the ground. The fall looked painful. Luckily, his wife and kids were nearby and quickly helped him, probably trying not to laugh. Number 7. On top of that, two men were cutting a tree with a chainsaw. They thought it was ready to fall, so they stepped back but then decided to push it. One man pointed, thinking he knew where it would land. But suddenly, bam! A big branch hit him on the head. It all happened so fast. Trees don't listen to plans. Number 6. In contrast, some cuts are disastrous. A guy was cutting down a huge tree with a chainsaw while security watched. He thought the tree was ready to fall, so he stepped back. But the tree fell in the wrong direction and smashed into a house. All because of his tree cutting skills. It was a complete disaster. His plan and the tree had different ideas. Number 5. Subsequently, the tree falls in all the wrong ways. Two guys were cutting a tree, one on the right side and the other using a chainsaw. The tree fell once the cutting was done, only it wasn't a gentle drop. The bottom of the tree hit the other guy so hard that he rolled across the field like a tumbleweed. It was a disaster in slow motion and not part of the plan. Number 4. Here's another dumb disaster. A guy was cutting a tree branch with a chainsaw when the branch slipped from his hand out of nowhere. But wait, it wasn't just the branch that went. He got stuck hanging from the branch and the chainsaw, swinging around like a real-life cartoon character. Talk about getting caught in the moment. Number 3. Cutting trees isn't all fun and games. Misjudging the tree's fall can become a disaster, causing property damage and risking the worker's safety. Add strong wind or slippery rain, and handling the chainsaw becomes a survival game. One wrong move, and it's like nature is trying to mess with you. Number 2. Furthermore, an idiot worker was chopping down a tree while standing on a ladder, and a girl was helping him from below, handing him stuff. Suddenly, a huge branch fell, knocking the worker's chainsaw into the air, where it got stuck hanging from a tree. The girl also fell. It was like a disaster movie with chainsaw acrobatics. Number 1. Finally, you'll be shocked by what happens next. Hiring the wrong people can backfire most funnily. You think it's all good, but then things spiral into a mess that only the wrong folks could cause. It's like watching a comedy show where everything goes wrong, and you can't help but laugh at how disastrous the whole thing turns out. Think these tree felling attempts were impressive or just plain reckless? Watch to see how these guys handle chainsaws like true pros. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Were they daring or disastrous? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.